And frankly, I feel like I'm starting to look like a Ford store because I got a little bit of fluids too. But also, I picked up, are these new old stock now? So these were replaced by Ford Performance spark plugs, but I was able to find those at my local Ford store. So I nabbed those up for the time being, but basically got everything we need. I actually need to take those out of the fuel rails now because we're putting the big boys in. So we got to be very careful here. But let's show off this turbine housing a little bit. Dang! That's a turbine wheel if I've ever seen one on one of these turbos. That's a big boy. That is, I mean, I remember doing the turbine wheels, the compressor wheels on my OEM turbos, and I had to grab it like that so I could tighten down the nut on the other side. And that is significantly bigger. So with big turbine wheels, you gotta machine in some space. Dang! It goes all the way up to there. That's crazy. Those things are definitely machined way out to make space. I wish I had a stock turbine wheel to show off, but I guess for example, here is the compressor wheel again. The turbine wheels compared to the compressor wheels are probably the size of these outer fins. So it's a little bit bigger. There's a little bit more space in there. And I got both of them off now. So going to have these ceramic coated with the exhaust manifolds, and that's definitely going to help tongevity. These housings have an issue with cracking, and basically when they cool down too fast, and that's with cast. That's quite an issue because of the expansion and contraction. It causes them to crack. So with the ceramic coating, it's going to keep that heat in there a little bit longer, so they'll cool down a little bit slower, which overall will be beneficial. And it'll keep the heat out of the engine bay. So going to get a little bit of heat out of the engine bay, and then let's see here. So there is a couple things in here that I want to also ceramic coat. There is a coolant hose somewhere that goes underneath the intake manifold. I think this one is also under there, so I'm going to get this one coated as well. And then, oh, here it is right here. Get that coated, this coated, and then I want to also do the thermostat housing as well, because that is exposed metal in the engine bay, so it radiates heat a little bit. So we're just kind of going a little bit anal on the heat temp management, because with these cars, intake temps is huge, because we already have a cast aluminum intake manifold, so that heat soaks to begin with. So I've got those. This is the one that goes directly underneath the intake manifold, and this one is beneath that, in between the heads. And then this is a thermostat housing that goes on the side of the intake manifold like that. And I think if we get all of these coated, it'll keep the heat in the coolant and away from the intake manifold. And then as far as these go, when you get these ceramic coated with the exhaust manifolds, that'll save some heat out of the PTU in the back. And then I was going to do the downpipes way back over in there, but I think for cost efficiency's sake, and they're already wrapped, I think it'll be okay. But going to be interesting. Well, out with the old trans mount. This one looks like it's still in good shape, but the battery kind of exploded on it, and it's just kind of old. But going to send this off to Tom Paulin for his flex, and he's going to modify his other one. But even the car is about that weight reduction life. Dang, boy. Look at that rust. And then half the threads are just straight up missing on that. Delicious. So got a new mount in. Got everything bolted back up. And that was a fun process, but good to go there. Don't need that. Moved the battery from the engine bay to right here. Just kind of whipped something up with a buddy. But I kind of realized a little something. A little something about my plan. So I realized a little bit late that if I'm going to build this, I need to build for the future of the platform and not what the platform can do right now. So, in the car, the transmission, there's not very many options as far as building. And unfortunately, that's probably the limiting factor. And I was kind of building around that. I was thinking, this is actually the new block. Picked this up from the machine shop today. This block, it's brand new, nothing done to it, open deck. So there's been quite a few people who have ran these pretty high horsepower, and 600 really isn't much of an issue, but after that you start to see a little bit of cylinder wall movement. So for the longest time I said, I'm not going to do the closed deck because, sorry, car going by right there, but I'm not going to do the closed deck because the transmission can't keep up. But who's stopping the transmission from being upgraded in a couple years? I mean, somebody's going to come out with that solution eventually. So I picked this up. I'm going to send this to CSS and get it closed. And then we'll have all the motor in the world for a potential transmission down the line. So figure I'd update you guys on that. So I need to take the mains out of this and box it up and send it on its merry way and just spend the money and get it over with. So this battery mount is pretty cool because it just frees up some engine bay space. I don't really have a need for the engine bay space, but maybe down the line I might. And this keeps the weight over the front wheels. I know a lot of people like to put them in the trunks, but I'm not really about that. I want the weight to still be up front. We've got a lightweight battery. I mean, that battery weighs like 20 pounds less. However, I think traction-wise it's best to keep it over the front wheels. And then I got this back. I was thinking about going gold, but quite frankly, I don't know if I'm a fan of it. But I picked out a different color, and I think we'll go from there on that. I'll keep that a little bit of a surprise. But we've cleaned out the car. No more car parts in there, and filled up this shelf with a ton of power potential. So the Gearhead Gen 3R turbos, XCI plus 50 injectors, the XCI Evo pump, MST coils, BBK throttle body. I mean, we got it all. But anyways, I figured I'd update you guys on this. Quite frankly, I think it's going to be a decent investment down the line because I don't really plan on getting rid of the car anytime soon. But I was just trying to cheap out, I guess. I was trying to save some dough in the long run, but I figure if I'm going to do this once, I should do it right. So now I get to find a box that can fit this thing and have fun with that. Plus, I already sent out those things to be ceramic coated, so those should be in his hands probably today. And I ended up going with a guy out of Joplin, Missouri, kind of local. In fact, I got a quote from Jet Hot for those things, and it was like over $1,000, which was just absolutely insane to me. If I can spend 40% the money for 80% of the effectiveness, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. But honestly, this little battery mount, it's pretty sweet. It's super solid. I mean, I tried moving this thing around, but I need to take it back off one more time, give it a paint of coat just so it doesn't rust up. But and then I need to make some covers for the positive terminal because we don't want to ground out accidentally, and fry some things. But the closed deck should probably take another month and a half. But once we get that back, I'm assuming that the assembly will be all ready to go back together, and maybe by the end of the year we'll have this thing up and running. But anyways, figure I'd give you guys a quick update. I don't know, that gold is kind of atrocious. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit brighter, but got a few different colors there. Ended up picking one out, but that'll be down the line. and we don't need to be spending our money on non-essential stuff just yet, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm kind of hurting lately. Kind of hurting. A lot of unexpected purchases that are now being made between the ceramic coating, closed deck, and injectors, which none of them are cheap. But as always, we will keep on keeping on, and I will catch you guys in the next one.